Hey everybody, what is good? We are back. Hope everyone's weekend is getting started wherever you are, and hope for those of us, our Friday is winding down. Um, I really am excited to just bring a fun deck up that, have you ever seen me play Ashiok on this channel? No. But also, Ashiok typically has been one of the worst planeswalkers for the last month. However, I will say, for those of you who are running into Teferi, Ashiok's a pretty good answer. It is hard to build Ashiok for the meta right now, right, to sort of account for more mid-rangey decks and then also to account for control. So that's definitely a deck building challenge. And who knows, maybe let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like for us to put up here on the channel. And please don't forget to like, subscribe. Definitely those likes and those subscribes, help the channel grow. It's going to help me to reach more folks, get more ideas, have more of a community. And who knows, maybe as we get closer to 100 subscribers, which we're really closing in on, maybe we'll start a Discord. I don't know. Um, but we're not talking about your average Ashiok deck today. So first we got to explain why are we even playing Ashiok, and the reason is the event. And I've taken the feedback of some viewers. We're getting this up. We got 3 full days to go on this puppy. So I'm gonna get this video out to you guys as soon as possible, and I'm just gonna let you guys grind away. So fully equipped. There's actually quite a lot to unpack here because it's really bizarre. So the armory is open. Carefully select from an assortment of creatures, spells, and artifacts to take your match to the next level. At the start of each player's first turn, right? Not every turn, it's just the first turn. They draft a creature, a spell, and an artifact. Then 1 copy of each is added to your hand, and 4 copies are added to your deck. So it's random, right? I mean, I've already played this event a couple times. Because I wanted to build a deck that seemed really good for it. It's always a fun deck building challenge, and there's a lot going on here. Just from the fact that you're drafting from 3 spells, 3 artifacts, and 3 creatures, there could be a whole slew of options. I played against someone whose creature to draft was Tarmogoyf in an Ashiok deck. It was pretty scary. So this game mode can get really crazy, and honestly, I think it's really fun. So I would say the first deck building point, because I think my deck is really tailored to this, and feel free to play it. We'll definitely post the deck code. But I think you have a lot of modality, a lot of options that you can try and run. First rule, when you are starting with extra cards and your deck is increasing in card advantage, what deck benefits the most from that? Right? Probably a deck that has not as much card advantage inherently, and maybe a deck that is typically trying to play a more aggressive or a low curve strategy where adding cards, having the option to add cards that either help you push your aggressive strategy or shore up your ability to close out the game with maybe a 5, 6, or 7 cost spell or creature or artifact. I would say generally what you're looking at is you want to have a deck that skews towards cheaper or just is able to stall the game out, right? So Nissa, I could also see being kind of powerful here, right? Because you're getting more options for your deck. The game might go longer, right? Which allows you to be more powerful in your end game plan. But the first Planeswalker I wanted to try was Ashiok, and that's what I'm throwing up here for you guys today. And I think I want to say 7-1 in the event last night, just trying things out and iterating. So it's definitely proven to be pretty solid. But we'll see. People last night were toying around with some stuff. Maybe people have refined things. So let me stop talking about this and let's get into the deck. Because obviously, as you can see, I'm pretty pumped today to bring this to you. So, yikes event. Because let me tell you, this deck just feels really, really powerful. And to be honest, it's not even that optimized. Because because I don't have enough to make another Voldaren Drainlord, but we'll talk about that card in a sec. So, why Ashiok, right? Why are we playing this Planeswalker? After you add a card to your hand that did not start in your deck, or play one of those cards, attach a Nightmare, right? Now, the event is adding 3 new cards to your hand, and I think it's either 12 total or 9 total copies of those cards into your deck. So, Ashiok, I think usually you're starting out and you're putting 4 Nightmares in your opponent's deck, which, to be fair, I don't think is that powerful immediately. But just the amount of Nightmares you can just pump out, especially like one of the spells you can draft is Extract Fear, right? Or Get Ahead, I think I saw. So the deck just kind of has always gotten more of a reward out of random cards because it inherently has a synergy toward that. Right, the ability, real quick, we'll jump here for a second. Shadowstag, right, to reduce the cost of each card in your hand that didn't start in your deck, making so many cards in your hand cheaper by 1, huge game. So, let's start with the land actually, because I think this did take some workshopping. So why are we playing Yawning Portal? Now, my first gut was just to play the zombie land, right? Don't disrupt your curve until turn 7 potentially, or turn 7 potentially. You're drawing cards that were not in your deck. Obviously, you're adding Nightmares, but Yawning Portal can do that too. Now, when I played the mirror match of Ashiok versus Ashiok in this event, and my opponent was playing Yawning Portal, it dawned on me very quickly, why is Yawning Portal better? Now, immediately I started to think, okay, well, Yawning Portal stops you from drawing a card in your deck, though, right? You're just getting a random legendary. How is that better than getting certain cards in your deck? Because you're not drawing, right? You're conjuring a card that's replacing your draw step. And what does Ashiok say? Potentially take a ton of damage when you draw a card, right? So Yawning Portal basically not only doesn't disrupt your mana, right, because you're still getting the empty mana gem, or it temporarily disrupts it, which can sometimes be a better trade-off, honestly, than having a land that just full-on gives you an extra card. And you'll see how mana is very important in this game mode. But the fact that you can just blank in the mirror, and I think this deck is pretty good, their ability to, drain you out is pretty relevant. So, and sometimes you also just hit the nut and you get some crazy legendary that just is really, really, really good for you. So that's why we're playing Yawning Portal. And hopefully you'll get to see in some of these games the power of it. And I really do recommend this if you're going to run this build. If you don't have it, you can run School of the Wizard. You can run the land that gives you spells. You can run the land that gives you zombies. I would say of the 3, if you don't have Yawning Portal, I would play the zombie land, just because you really don't want to disrupt your curve until as late as possible, in my opinion. School of the Wizard, it's still just really good with Ashiok. Any class card has always been good with Ashiok, right? Because there's 3 cards that don't originally start in your deck, right? So it procs all the Nightmares. And it's just, Ashiok puts out a lot of pressure at certain points, and making 5/4 unblockable water elementals is pretty hard to deal with. But everything else is kind of your standard Ashiok build, aside from a few cards, and we'll go over that. So, Runeshell Crab, still need answers to your aggro decks. Very cheap, efficient creature. We don't care about it attacking, right? Same thing as Teferi. Inventive Crafter, really select few decks, if any, would play this card. Ashiok is one of them. A 1/2 for 1 that adds a card to your hand, right? That adds to your Nightmares is pretty good, right? It can also be cheapened by things like Shadowstag later on in the game to make your turns like just extremely mana efficient. We're running obviously Get Ahead, right? It's just free Nightmares. Also, in terms of milling, right? Which I don't know that would really come up. It is relevant to just take cards out of the bottom of your opponent's deck. Extract Fear, obviously very powerful, right? Getting to draft a copy of cards that are in their deck. The modality of that is excellent. That's just, the signature card, of course. Isochron Scepter has always done a ton of work in this deck, just as it does in RAL. Conjuring those free, those two mana or lower spells are just incredibly powerful. Lorekeeper, I am only doing one. That could be wrong. I had changed some numbers, and I'm running one Lorekeeper and one Infectious Scorpion. Um, but to be honest, that was because I was only seeing control in this event. So, if I see a lot more aggro, I might have to change the numbers. But Lorekeeper's great, right? It's a 2-1 for 2, which is a fine cost, and then you're getting a random spell, procs Ashiok. Drain Blood, just a good trade off, especially when you're playing against aggro decks or you're potentially playing the mirror. Like, life gain is just very good for you. Um, Now, this card, it took me a second because Shadowmage Saboteur is not a card that I have thought traditionally was good in Ashiok, right? It's just like relatively easy to deal with, doesn't have that high impact. But some of these turns, I'm telling you, if this thing gets to attack and you can just spew out a bunch of nightmares, it's pretty hard to lose the game. And it's a 2-mana 2/3. The body is like very serviceable. And all you need to do is just save it, save it attacking to double all the nightmares you get for a really crucial turn. And we'll talk about how to get there. Ghoulcaller Savant, I believe this was added, from the new set. And, makes sense, right? It's a 4-1 for 3. I mean, the stats are like whatever, right? Sometimes you can put some pressure on the control decks, or you're just hopefully training up or equal, power against the aggro and mid-range decks. And it comes into play, you draft a relevant spell. I would say Grave Disturbance is probably going to be the best spell to take, most times. But Poison Bane can be relevant, and so can Incapacitate. Although this is probably one of the worst ones, I would say. Agony Warp, always just an all-star, right? It's a 3-mana, make something, an irrelevant creature, and then it conjures a new card that gives it -3. So it's just, it's a 2-for-1 that obviously does specifically well for Ashiok's ability. Fatetwist, I got Fate Twisted. I immediately put this in my deck. I thought 2 would be a little too much. I think 1 is just right. I could be wrong about this Goldilocks theory for this card, but because a lot of times you're trying to just play out as many spells as possible because you just have so many cards in your hand, and you don't want to be just like hitting maximum hand size and milling yourself and all of that. But sometimes you get down to 2-3 cards, your opponent's still got maybe a full grip, right? And then you just Fate Twist them, and it just puts so many nightmares in their deck, right? So that's the combo, one of the combos. For Shadowmage Saboteurs, you attack, and then if you Fate Twist them for, like, let's say 3 or 4, right, that's 6 or 8 nightmares. Gets pretty crazy pretty quick. Jolt of Inspiration always was a pretty great Ashiok card, right? It's add 3 random spells to your hand, so that's 3 nightmares going in for 4 mana, and the spells, are going to help you to just keep applying pressure with those nightmares. I thought one of Infest would still be fine. I haven't really actually played it that much in the matchups, but I just figured it was still a good card at slowing down any sort of aggro matchups that we might run into. Flagrant Foul, obviously just a good 1-for-1, removal, and I just didn't really see a reason to deviate from that. Shadowstag, this card just does so much work setting up turns where you're playing Shadowstag and just reducing the cost of all of your cards in your hand by 1 is really easy to do. It's still a really great body, 4 mana for a 4/5. It just really can. I think Shadowstag is one of those cards that does really tip this event towards Ashiok, because cheapening the cards that you're, the 12 cards that you can be drawing in your deck is really, really powerful. And then this is just a sweet piece of tech that I ran into. I didn't have enough to make another one, but Voldaren Drainlord, 6 mana for a 3/5 flyer. Your drain effects are increased by 1. So when your opponents draw nightmares, it just increases the effect by another 1. Might be a little more win more, might not be that necessary. But when I played against it in the mirror matchup, it did some good work, and I had to kind of address it. So I don't know. I would say this card's kind of borderline, but I think the rest of the deck is just really efficient. And the last thing I'll kind of note here is that you don't even need Fate Twist to go crazy with Shadowmage, Saboteur, or Jolt of Inspiration. some turns, and depending on what spells you draft, you just play a bunch of get-aheads and extract spheres, and you're just off to the races when it comes to this. So, enough talking from me. Let's just hop into the event. I'm super excited. These games have been really, really fun. And, you know, if you've got some of that coin and you can invest 500 and come away with 800, it's not the biggest payoff, but if you're trying to farm up gold, which I know folks who are, you know, free to play like me are trying to have the best resource management we possibly can, then it might be worth it for you to play this event. So here we are. And definitely let me know in the comments other builds that, you know, you think could be good. I think this is worth a shot. I think a lot of the aggro decks are potentially worth a shot because it, you know, empowers them a bit to have extra card advantage. Into Teferi. Okay. I think this should be good for us. You know, if the logic is that Ashiok is a good counter to Teferi in the normal game mode, then here's hoping that it's a bit of a counter in this game mode. Well, I love this hand. Drain Blood is not particularly relevant, so I think I will... Oh, they're running the Manland. Okay, that's good that I saw that. So, actually, I think we're just going to keep this. And I do want to keep Shadowstag. It's just... I'm telling you, this card does so much work. Alright. And we're going to try and keep this mana gem for sure. And just curve out as best we can. And it's always going to take a little bit, right? Because you and your opponent have to draft, you know, potentially 3 of 9 cards that you're going to see. So, and just remember, you're getting those copies in your deck as well. So you really want to choose stuff that just drawing off the top is going to be good, you know. The artifacts are, I would say, the clunkiest. I think the best one I saw was Hell Vault, which I do think is pretty good. But I'm excited to see what we draft. It's kind of like a perfect game mode for me, because I'm a huge drafter in Magic the Gathering. So this should be fun. Okay, interesting. Well, Lurking Horror doesn't do anything for us. Pit Fighter obviously could be fine, but I think we're just going to take Master of Possibilities, which I think is a pretty powerful card, right? Draft a temporary spell that costs 6 or less, change it to 0, add it to your hand. Very synergistic with Ashiok. Okay, Clone Explosion can be pretty powerful, but again, I think probably going to want a cheap interactive spell. Now, Takedown, judging by the fact that they have this land, is probably going to be a bit better than Chill Wind, although this is cheaper. So, I'm going to take Takedown here. Because we can also consider our curve as well. Interesting. Rod of Ruin, I don't think is that bad. You know, dealing 1 damage and having more copies of it can be good, but Bag of Tricks is kind of exactly what we want to be doing as Ashiok, and it's cheap. So we're going to take that. I forgot they start your turn clock here, so let's just get out our Inventive Crafter. Alright, our opponent's starting with 5 Nightmares in their deck. Kind of fun. So, we'll see what our opponent does. If they're running the kind of like aggro trap version, unless we get really blown out early, I think we should be okay. Oh boy. Not great to see the early Master of Possibilities in our hand, but this card will just put us very ahead later. So, who knows, maybe we'll, you know, turn 7 we'll slam, or turn 5 we'll slam this, and then we'll slam another one. Okay, we got Bag of Tricks as well. Definitely going to do something for 2 mana. The question is, would I rather take down this to try and apply pressure? I don't think we need to. Not yet, anyway. I think let's just get maybe Bag of Tricks go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just want to really be mindful of how many cards we have in our hands. Oh, interesting. Snapshot might actually be pretty relevant here. So, just pass the turn. Nice. Already got the Nightmares going. It's great when you see Nightmares early, because just anything to buffer your pretty low life total early is excellent with Ashiok. And I mean, if we go stag this next turn, right? This goes to 5, this goes to 1, this goes to 5, this goes to 2, 1, 1, right? It just... This card really just does so much work in this matchup. But we probably don't even need to run it out quite yet. We'll see what they do. If we're not under a ton of pressure, I'll probably just play Glider to be efficient, or maybe I'll Bag of Tricks first, see what we hit. Excellent, got another free Nightmare. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we can't add, we actually have to play something out here. So I think, yeah, I think I'm just going to go Glider. Just keep our mana gem. Also didn't know if they would be holding up a trap here. And I'm not going to use this because I don't want to overdraw. So, and they had no, interesting, no trap there. So they've gone Runeshell, Crab, and then Staff, and drawn 2. Okay, Frostlands. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Well, it's pretty tempting to go stag here when their shields are down, so I think that's exactly what we're going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We could also go Familiar and Snapshell, though. That's pretty tempting. But this is also going to reduce all of their costs. Yeah, I think we just run out the Shadowstag. This makes everything super cheap. We could also resolve our Wizard's Familiar this turn if we want to use our gem. But we're not under a ton of pressure, so... Look, I'm taking my time. I'm trying to play well for my channel. I'll try and speed it up a little bit. Sorry. And now we just set up like a bunch of Master Possibility turns, which seems crazy. If they attack, I'm pretty down to just block. And they could have something to pump it. I think that's still fine. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe... Okay, no. I was thinking Champion's Grit, maybe, but doesn't look like it. See what our opponent is going to deploy, because boy do we have a ton to do. And the Bag of Tricks is just going to keep giving us more fodder, so... Drew another one. I didn't see the Nightmare animation, so that's kind of weird. Am I down to trade Stag? I don't see a reason not to, quite frankly. So, I'm just going to attack in and see what happens here. Imagine they just block. And then... Not sure what traps they've got here. But I guess I'll play around the fact that they could be holding up stuff. Yeah, Wizard's Familiar. Easy one. So Bag of Tricks gives us Hasty Morsel. And then we've got Snapshell Turtle. And yeah, I guess we can just go another Bag of Tricks. Oh, okay. That's getting negated. Got it. That is A-okay, friend. It's alive with 1 mana. Okay, that's actually not the worst upgrade they could have gotten. But I mean, we get to do so much stuff because of Stag. So we got more Bag of Tricks where that came from. Also, very critically, we get to take down this if they don't have interaction this next turn. They're also not applying pressure. I mean, at some point they got to start doing something. Okay, unsummon. Sure. Attack. Yeah, I'm just happy to take this attack here. Got removal. Don't need to worry about double unsummon. Maybe that was the spell they drafted? I don't feel like they would just do that sort of out of nowhere. So, take down. Attack. Also, any damage you do as Ashiok, obviously, is just super important because of how many nightmares you're putting in your opponent's deck. Let's see if this gets countered. Nope. Okay. Alright. Just going to redeploy what we got. Just more nightmares that they have to deal with. So. Yeah. This is the Ashiok kind of dream here. Oh, they did get Hellvault as their artifact, probably. That's pretty cool. I mean, the fact that the finale, when it dies, right, it changed the cost of each seal creature added to your hand to 1 is pretty powerful, but, I mean, we're just able to play things every turn. Sister's not the worst card in the world, so. Alright, let's go to attack, see what happens. Alright. Well, honestly, it's probably correct to just master possibilities away this. Yeah. Let's see what spell we can get. Ooh. Oh, we can't cast it, though. Damn, Glorious Anthem would have been sick. It's just temporary, right? Yeah, dang. Okay, well. Can't use anything here. Oh, it costs... Tim, it costs 0. You dumb. And... might as well just draw their bottom card. See what happens here. They're probably not dead, but they're probably essentially dead. Yeah. I mean, it seems like they had a pretty bad draw. Like, just overall. They essentially played, what, like 2 creatures? Yeah. Oh, Gutfire. Gutfire's not a bad one for going long. And I wouldn't guess that this version has Day of Judgment either. And it doesn't matter, because we're applying so much pressure. Like, not much that they can do. Yep. So they've got 20 nightmares. But they've also got more cards in their deck, so, you know, you never know. Alright, well, I'll just start with Master Possibility, see what we hit here. Grudge Match, Heroic Blessing. Okay, yeah, that's way more than lethal. Yeah. I felt like the fun police against Teferi. Not something I feel often, but I mean, that's a pretty ideal matchup, and that's what the deck does. Oh, Lord. Okay. Let's hop right back in. Let's make some more money, shall we? Some investments, some stocks. It's not a ton, but it is really fun. I'm having a lot of fun with this deck. I should try other stuff, but let me get at least a couple more games for y'all and post this so you guys can try it yourselves. Alright, what matchup can... Let's get an aggro matchup. That's probably our hardest matchup. See if we can deal with aggressive. Come on. I know that was very one-sided, but there's gotta be other folks playing this event. But I mean, so you get the free entry, right? So potentially you just do it as a one-shot, which is great. Like, definitely take this deck in, get your free 800 gold. But yeah, I mean, even if you have like 2k, 3k gold, you know, I would say, I guess less would be kind of a bit of a gamble. You know, you'll just rack up some coin. Okay, Cure is interesting. I mean, I could see Cure being good. You know, the game goes long. They could have some pressure, but I think, honestly, the game goes long, we should win it, so... but I haven't played this matchup even on the Mythic ladder, so... Should be fun either way. I mean, Isochron can probably do a ton of work here. Do I want to, though? It is a lot of nightmares. And Scorpion can still be very relevant. I'm just going to keep this. I could try and ship these back for something else, but Isochron is just a pretty crazy card already. So, ooh, they get the Fragile Mana Gem, though. That's very good for them. Okay. Tap the card you want to choose. I mean, Geist of Sage Traft does seem pretty great. I mean, it's conjuring an angel that would not be in our deck. Daggerclaw Imp is cheap and applies a lot of pressure, though. I feel like it's close, but I think Geist gives us a lot of stuff. Okay, interesting. Shock, Tragic Trip, and Anticipate. I think I actually like Shock here. It's cheap. It can go to the face, or potentially soften up some creatures. Anticipate's fine, but like, I kind of like this. Bagatrix, Traveler. I'm gonna go with Bagatrix again. Just can do a whole heck of a lot. Do I want to shock the fish? Yep, I'm gonna do that. I know that's kind of rude, so I'm a little sorry, but if I can clear the ground and just start hammering away. I mean, it's looking like what we'll do is go Scorpion into Geist, maybe into Angel, into other stuff. So we've got a lot of our turns already planned out here, depending on what our opponent does. Should be interesting. Opponent's starting with 5 Nightmares. I would say that's like about average 4 or 5. Potential Crab. Okay. Fair enough. It's another shock. Let's get the Scorpion down. Could have gone Wizard's Familiar Shock, but yeah, I wonder if that was better. That might have been better, actually. Oh, it's Archer. Can't really do. Okay. Oh, don't really get throwing that away, so that's fine. I guess they want to be able to attack through. It's reasonable. I'm just going to run out Geist here. Here, if they attack, I will block. Just because then I can play my Angel and attack through next turn. Interesting. Yeah, they're definitely some pretty aggressive start from the opponent. Not too shabby. It's 2 damage though. I think I'd rather maybe chump here. So I'll take 2. I can live with that. Alright, play Angel. And now actually it makes more sense to sit back on defense. I don't really want to trade for their armor. So, because then I can block here, or block here. Yeah. We'll chill. Nice. Early 2 Nightmares, that's excellent. Just completely canceling their attack last turn. Whenever you summon an angel, this gets armor. Now, if we draw another one, we're definitely incentivized to attack. Okay. Well, a Braid, I would guess, is the spell that they got, since it can't start in their deck. So that's good to know. Interesting. Alright, well here, Could also just trade Geist here. I think I'm actually fine, but let's suss out if they've got a combat trick first. So I'll block here. Yep, they do. Good thinking, Tim. Makes sense that they might have a card like that. And I think we'll just take the advantageous trades that we can here. This is also like a fine block for us too, if they have nothing else. And I'll probably just Fatal this too. Alright. Get in for 4. It's a really huge hit coming from Ashiok. I might not want to trade this off, the more I'm thinking about it. Because we could also just block with Shadowstag. That's a lot more pressure. Alright, let's do that. Let's first... Or we could just Doom it. Take 5. Yeah, I think I like that better. Let's just Doom that. Let's... Wizard's Familiar can't reduce these. So I guess I could just double shock the crab. I'm down for that, actually. Just a whole lot of pressure. And let's just get Wizard's Familiar going. It's also more chip damage. Huge turn for us. Taking 5 is okay. We dealt with a lot of their board here. So it is a big chunk of damage, but I think it's worth... A, keeping our Angel is good. Got Glider, but we've also got Isochrons. They did not attack. Okay, well that's a misplay. You definitely just ship in and either trade or something else. Got 6 mana. Alright, it's probably just these. Just keep applying pressure. But also I could see what we draw off Lorekeeper to kill this. Yeah, let's start with that. Oh, that's really huge. Just applying so much pressure to our opponent right now. Jarring Insight, Scathing Glare. I mean, Scathing Glare looks pretty nasty here. Especially for our flyers. Yeah, let's just take that. They've got 16 Nightmares in their deck. They dodged it there. That was good. But yeah, I mean, being able to develop on the board when our opponent can't, and then they're just, you know, they just have ticking time bombs in their decks, pretty rough. Yeah. Oh, I bet maybe that's the monster that they drafted. Drana. It's not a bad one either. Alright, let's see what we draw here. I will anticipate Tragic. I could see Nuzzle being good. Alright, let's play... I guess we're going to go Drana Ghoulcaller. So, yeah. Don't really want to just ship these away when we have Scathing Glare in our hand. Taking 4. You are a bold one. Yeah, I mean, Poison Veins just blanks basically anything they do. So, alright, I mean, they've got 20 Nightmares and they missed 2 Nightmare triggers. I still feel like it's going to be pretty hard to come back from this board position, but we shall see. Yeah, this art's kind of cool. Illusion Monster, Phantom Monster. 3/3 flyer for 4. Just a good old classic. I'm so excited for Yawning to come out. They said early February. Really hoping it's at the end of next week. That would be really nice. Then we can play with some flyers. That should be exciting. I bet Logan is chomping at the bit to play some blue-white flyers. Did they connect or disconnect? That sucks. I mean, it's pretty over. Alright. I will attack. Even if they had like Worm's Wake plus, I don't know. I don't think they'd be playing Disorient or something like that. I think this is just very much a lethal attack. 22 Nightmares in their library. Yeah. But also it just seems like they disconnected, so. Okay. Another pretty easy dub. Alright, well you know me. I like to do at least 3 games. Just get a bit of a sense of it, so let's see. I always tend to fly too close to the sun in my videos, and then I start having a bit of trouble, but gotta throw up at least one more game here. See if we can get any cool Fatetwist turns or stuff like that. And meanwhile, we're just making some bank, so I'll take it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Fire it up. Chandra. Okay, sweet. I feel like this has got to be one of the hardest matchups because we're starting at 18 life because of their passive. So let's see it. Okay, well, really good starting hand. So this is exactly what we need to try and address their aggressive starts. Also getting like a free blocker that's cheap off of Grave Disturbance for Ghoulcaller Savant. Definitely what you want to be doing into aggressive matchups. Sweet, 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 sweet. Alright. Yep, starting at 18. Hoping we hit some early Nightmare procs, otherwise it could be really scary here. So obviously going to go for pretty cheap spells. Naturalize, Plummet, or Nuzzle. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with Forest Guard. I do think that it's the cheapest card. It's got modality too, so it's like a pretty easy pick. Lava Wave, that's a fun one. Warding Flame. I think Scathing Glare can probably do some work, actually. So, okay, we're going to have 6 Isochron Scepters in our deck. I'm down. Love it. Love it. Alright, start with our good old Runeshell Crab. Alright, let's see what you got, opponent. Let's see if you can put the screws to the old Ashiok deck. I imagine they're just drafting potentially some powerful mid-range options, or depending on their opening hands, they might need some 1-drops or 2-drops. Got some good answers here, though, because even if they do something with 2 toughness, we get to go Drain Bloods next turn, or potentially Scathing Glare or Scepter. I mean, we have so many options in our early turns, and then we're going to slam a Shadowstag. Oh no, please don't disconnect. Bud, you got to make your thing, or it's going to pass your turn. It counts your drafting as a part of your turn, so you got to be really careful with the clock here. Looks like maybe the animations are just slow because it hasn't booted back their turn yet. Okay. Hoping it did not just skip their turn here. So that would kind of suck. Okay, did you play something? Hopefully yes, hopefully yes. I do think they should, I don't know, they should maybe give you some extra time to make those decisions. Hell yeah, eh? You know what, I'm just going to run out the familiar. I was thinking about Isochron, but So we got to reduce Strain Blood. Oh, nice. We got an early Nightmare. That's sick. I might actually take this 3 because we've got the Drain Blood. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to gain life off of this potentially next turn. I probably do just want to trade this and play maybe Ghoulcaller Savant next turn. Fling. Alright, I am going to take this 3. I don't love doing that, but with Fling, I don't want to just jump block here. We've already got Drain Blood, which can answer it for 1 mana, and then we can go Isochron. And then if they have like the 3/3 haster, we can block that next turn. It's a bit of a gamble, but I think that's okay. Alright, poke him. Could also hold this to try and gain the life. It's another line. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna draft Naturalize because I know they have 5 artifacts potentially in their deck. I don't know that we're gonna see a plummet target. Nuzzle can be good, but we don't need it right now, and we have another one in our hand. Nice. We'd love to see the early Nightmares. It's very lucky because they go in the top 15. So, and they also start with an extra 12 cards in their deck. So, oh, that's pretty annoying. But yeah, I'm not going to take 3 again. We'll block. Comes back. Got a really cheap Drain Blood, which is nice. So we won't get to Stag next turn, but that's okay. Signature spell, nice. Oh, Drain Blood, gain some life. And what are we going to play? We could go Savant, we could go Force Guard. I think I'm down to go Savant, though. Yeah. Let's go Savant. Disturbance, I think, is just a really efficient card against the aggro decks. If they have Flame Shot here, it definitely sucks. That actually... Well, we couldn't have really... I guess we could have marginally played around it if we play Forest Guard. But... here's hoping they don't have it. Maybe not. Maybe I should have considered that a little bit more. Probably should have. Yeah. Because if I play Forest Guard and they do it, they have to hit the Forest Guard. And I'm not taking 3. Doesn't look like they have it, thankfully, so... Okay, well, I will save some life here. And block. Manipulator, alright, well, we get to destroy that. Another Scanning Glare, cool. And I think we get to do this for free, right? Shadowstag will reduce it. Yep, that's sweet. Wow, this is just so good. Yeah, why not? Let's signature spell. Interesting. Alright, well I think Defend the Twinkle can be pretty powerful. But it's also very costly. I'll just take the Extract Fear. I'm gonna get to Grave Disturbance. Just all around really good turn. Damn, they dodged Nightmares the last 2 turns. But they also got Nightmared earlier, so... beggars can't be choosers, you know what I mean? This is great. We don't even have to block this with our 4/1. Super sweet. Get a Nightmare. Excellent. Glare is pretty nice. I'm actually going to start with Isochron Scepter, see what we draw. A Braid? Oh, yeah. Tinker is also pretty good, too, but... I'm just going to go with the removal. I think that makes the most sense. Now I can attack in. Yeah, I think that's good. Pretty clear block here. But are they really considering taking 8? Wow. And I think I would snap off this block. But maybe they've got something that can make them consider something else. Alright, again, I think I'm just going to go Forest Guard. I'm going to take Naturalize because we know it has a target. Although Nuzzle could come in handy. I guess Nuzzle's actually the most relevant, so let's do that. And then let's Extractor. So we can get... Ooh, alright, well, Lava Axe is kind of perfect for what we're doing. Man, gives us more chances for them to get Nightmared when they have Molten Monastery, so... yeah. Yup. Oh, I mean, who knows? Maybe they have a bunch of stuff they can do here, but... We've got a Lava Axe in our hand, we've got Scathing Glares. I think it's going to be pretty tough, and we have a huge life total advantage. And they're just going to keep getting deeper and deeper in the nightmare hole, as it were. Sounds like a terrible place to be. So, oh, I don't know. Maybe it's mean to be doing this sort of thing in an event, but I'm having a lot of fun with it because I just don't really ever play Ashiok. So, I don't know. You can malign me in the comments if you want. I can understand that. Alright, they're really thinking over there. Okay, I hope they didn't disconnect too. That would be really lame. Jeez. Okay, if we pump them twice, that's 6, that's 11. Yeah, it's just lethal. Sorry, friends. Oh, I didn't even get to show them the Lava Axe. Okay, yeah, I think they just passed it. They just disconnected or something. Alright, well, kind of not the best last 2 games. But I think we will wrap up the video here. Y'all get the picture. The deck feels really oppressive. Shadowstag, huge all-star. You're just having way more efficient turns than your opponent. You're just getting all of these cards out of your hand. You're getting rewarded for drawing them, for playing them. And, I wish we could have gotten the Ashiok Mirror, because, again, I'll throw up the deck list as we close out. The Yawning Portal does so much work to save you from getting Ashiok'd out. And I've just been really happy with the distribution. Like, Drainlord honestly might not be that good. I could see playing like an extra Lorekeeper and extra Scorpion easily. But this thing does kind of do some extra work in some of the slower matchups. So take what you will from this, but go forth, make some money. Have fun, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.